What up? It's Aaron motherfucking Moses. Yeah. And I got this request from one of the homies. I'm not gonna say his name, but how to stop smoking weed, man. It's something. Honestly, before I start this video, I stopped smoking weed for shit like 2 or 3 years, but it wasn't. It wasn't because I was just so fed up with smoking weed. It's because I got fucking scared out of smoking weed. And I just tripped the fuck out one day. I didn't get laid. I know everybody when I tell this fucking story is always like, oh bro, you got your weed lace, you smoke some other shit. No, I didn't. It was weed. I was selling weed at that time, bro. I sold this weed to everybody and nobody fucking complained because that was the first thing that I thought, somebody's gonna fucking kill me because I just sold a lot of this weed to a lot of people, and now it's gonna be people fucking looking for me. No, so I got out of jail. I was 19, and the first thing I did, of course, I took the fucking $300 that I had. I think I bought like a half, and I had probably 4 more sacks left. And my homeboy, I can't remember his name. My homeboy Sleepy came over, and I already smoked a joint before that. He came through. I sold him some weed. He blew it with me, and I started I started hallucinating. I started tripping the fuck out. Now, if you never heard me tell this story, Sleepy is a Mexican dude that has little ass eyes. That's why they called him Sleepy, I believe. And he had a big ass nose, but it had like a little hook on it. So I was I started seeing stars. I started seeing skulls and crossbones, and they were all rotating different directions. Like everything I saw, everything, all of my vision was filled with this checkerboard pattern of skull and crossbones. And I looked at Sleepy, and he was like, "You alright, dog?" And I looked at him, and his face started turning into a fucking goat and came towards me, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Nah, bro, I'm not. You gotta bounce, bro. I got some shit going on right now." And he was just looking at, and I rolled it up. He didn't lace my shit, and shit got all hot, and I started seeing fire, hearing voices, and I just saw just weird shit. It lasted like maybe 30 minutes. But of course, at the same time, I was on my meditation spiritual shit, and I was in jail, and I was meditating and doing all kind of stuff. So, but no, after that, I probably smoked twice, and the first time after that, it was just like the lesser version of it. It was just it was that, but it was faded. You know, it was still the fucking skull and crossbones came back, but it wasn't so hard because I wasn't high, and I wasn't that high, and I was like, nah, fuck this shit. Then I smoked again, and I hallucinated some other shit again, and I was like, all right, I can't smoke weed now. I don't know if this is a vibrational thing. I don't know if this is normal. I don't know if all people who fucking meditate as much as me go through this shit. I was meditating like an hour a day when I got out of jail. But I never actually stopped smoking weed. I I kept hallucinating every time I smoked. So I had to stop. And I called everybody, texted everybody to make sure that nobody was experiencing anything like I was experiencing, and everybody was cool. So I just took that as a sign from the gods or from the universe to not smoke weed. But after that, that happened when I was 20. I mean, that happened when I was 19. And then I didn't touch weed. I probably smoked weed 3 times in between the ages of 19 and 22 when I moved back to Atlanta. And then when I turned 22, I started smoking weed heavily again. But of course, just because of my relationship with weed, I had to stop. Okay. From I started smoking weed when I was 15, and then I stopped when I was 19. But in between that, I was the biggest weed head in all of the Southeast, bro. I would be smoked. I would. It was bad, bro. It was horrible, bro. It was like fucking like those like heroin addicts. When they say they don't actually get high off of heroin, they just do the heroin so they can feel normal. That's exactly how it was, bro. It was bad. I was a horrible extreme weed head. So I know, like, it's times where I've cried because I couldn't stop smoking fucking weed, and I was doing things to get weed, like a fucking junkie, bro. Like even in my highest point, selling drugs and shit, that shit still like I still smoked the fucking eighth a day. I didn't smoke an eighth a day. I would smoke an eighth in like probably not 2 hours, probably like 3 or 4 hours. But then when I woke up at 7:30. I woke up at like 6:50. I got on the bus at 8:10. Okay. I smoked 3 times before school. I smoked when I woke up. I smoked when I got out the shower, and I was smoke waiting on the bus 3 times. So that's already I smoked like a quarter a day when I was selling weed, bro. No fucking lie, bro. And on the weekends, I probably smoke like a half, easy, in one day. I would smoke an ounce every weekend, bro. I would smoke even when I slowed down. Even before I went to jail, me slowing down was smoking a pound every 2 months. I smoked a fucking pound every 2 months. And I'm not glorifying that shit. Yeah, everybody tries to say weed is, it's not that bad. It's not that motherfucking bad, but it's a chemical outside your fucking body. There's something that you're doing to make you feel something that you're not trying to feel naturally. Smoke a pound every fucking 2 months and see how you feel about yourself. Okay? It wasn't I masked it as cool, and it wasn't. And it wasn't mids, and it wasn't Mexican brick weed. It was AK-47, purple skunk, hybrids, some celebrity shit, some Gucci Mane shit, and it wasn't good, bro. It wasn't always good. I would be high, waking up places, spending all kind of money on food, whatever the fuck. So, I mean, between the ages of 22, now I don't have any problem with weed. I eat my edibles. I smoke my little half a joint. I hit the bowl a couple times. It's not a fucking problem. It's not a problem because I have other shit to do, and I don't fucking sell drugs, and I don't think it's luxurious. A long time I was lying to myself, thinking I was cool, but it really it was on some other shit, bro. It was on some other shit. The only thing good about it is I never lost all my money until I got really good at selling drugs. But you're not gonna go. You usually, if you're not a fucking straight up junkie, you're not gonna go broke smoking weed. Usually, but with that being said, with that 10 minutes of your fucking life gone, how would you stop? How would I recommend that somebody stop smoking weed? First of all, the first thing I want to tell you is you need to do research on something called cognitive behavioral therapy, which I have some of my original videos are about cognitive behavioral therapy or list the properties of that style of therapy. Changing your emotion towards it, building a different belief system, engineering a certain culture and certain environment around you to prevent that shit. But do research on that yourself because that shit will actually fucking help you. All right, so first I would say know what's gonna happen to your body, know what's gonna happen to your mind when you stop smoking weed. A lot of people, when they stop smoking, they can't eat. They have all this energy. They can't sleep. Their body's waking back up. Their melanin is being reactivated. Their genes are doing something new. They can breathe now. You might have more emotions. I never got cranky. I never got irritable. None of that, bro. The only thing that it was, I wouldn't say like a cranky or a temperate thing, but what would happen is when I smoked, of course, I would be laid back, chill. So I would be sitting in class with my feet on the chair, and one of the homies would come by playing and just snatch the feet from under my chair. I mean, snatch the chair from under my feet, and I wouldn't think anything of it. But let's say, I mean, it never affected me. It never affected my mood, but because I was not getting as much sleep, I might fall asleep. What's up, bro? What's up? I might fall asleep at fucking 3 o'clock in the morning and have to wake up 3 hours later and be tired still. So shit like that, me not being able to eat, of course, will affect your fucking mood. So it wasn't the fact that there was no THC in my system, it was the residual effects of not eating, not sleeping, not enjoying the music that I listen to every day in the same way. Yes, that's what affected me, not the fact that the THC levels in my blood were low or not there. Like if you smoke squares or you smoke tobacco at all, you can feel you can feel the fucking nicotine coming out of your body. You can feel the nicotine draining out of your fucking brain. You know, I had the fucking people, the couple people that smoked crack that bought weed from me and bought pills from me. They would be like, they would be coughing up crack. Okay, they would come around me coughing and itching and fucking nose running and something. What the fuck is wrong with you, man? You know where to get some hard, bro. I told you, I tell you every day, nigga. I don't know where to get crack, bro. Don't ask me that, fucking officer, nigga. But because a lot of these dudes will buy weed from me, mix it with their crack, and they will buy weed. I'm like, bro, you're a crackhead, smoke crack. Don't buy weed. If you're gonna act like this, don't buy my weed, nigga. Buy crack, go to work, and then buy my weed because you're creeping me the fuck out. But shit like that. So, I mean, a lot of people say visualizing yourself into sobriety. No, this is not a fucking how to manifest sobriety into your life, because that's not what I'm gonna give you. That doesn't make sense to me. But visualization, of course, a lot of people, you know, it's a whole war. Are you gonna visualize it or are you gonna will it into your life? You gotta do a little bit of both. If you don't, like I like to say, you can't be what you can't see, bro. So if you literally think about the words you use, I can't see, I can never see myself not smoking weed. I want to be high when I die. I'm not gonna die sober. If they find me, I'm gonna have a fucking a gram in my pocket. Like, bro, you have to literally see yourself being sober. Fun fact of the day: the human being is the only animal on the planet that can visualize themselves doing something and be successful at that thing without having without having experienced it before. So if you want to do anything and you've never done it, just know you can be successful at it as long as you visualize properly. All right, so next, of course, don't hang out with fucking potheads. Don't hang out with people that smoke weed. You're gonna have to change the selection of music. If you listen to a whole bunch of Bone Thugs, if you listen to a whole bunch of 3 6 Mafia, if you record music, you're gonna have to stop fucking recording music. That's how I kept fucking up my sobriety, smoking, drinking, because I'm like, all right, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm just about to get in the booth. I'm about to put all my emotions in the mic. And then what happens? The only thing I could fucking talk about was smoking and drinking. And then I record the shit. I'm like, yeah, that shit sounds hot. But it sounds better if I was high or drunk. And then I'm fucking sip, 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 sip. Oh, fuck, now I gotta go. I would keep hypnotizing myself into fucking smoking and drinking. So, if you record music, and the only thing you could fucking think about is smoking and drinking, you gotta get out that booth for it. At least like 3 days. Next, I would say, of course, don't think about it. Don't think about being sober, because the first couple days it's gonna be so lame, bro. It's gonna be lame. But you know, it doesn't have to be. You know, you can find something to fucking do, but if you're constantly thinking about being sober and damn, I got all these, I didn't even realize I had all these emotions. That's what fucked me up about not smoking and drinking for a minute, because I always blamed a lot of my thoughts on the fucking drugs, and I'm like, damn, these are my real authentic thoughts, and it scared the fuck out of me, and it made me, I reintroduced myself to me, and it was, that's probably another reason all the times that I actually start smoking and drinking again. But next, replace weed with something healthier. The only way, like a lot of people like to go cold turkey and then they go back to the same lifestyle. No, you're taking something away from you and you're not putting anything in its place. You stop smoking weed, now you're smoking more square. Like if you get your leg cut off tomorrow, are you gonna get you need a prosthetic leg, you need crutches, you need a wheelchair, you need something like that, bro. So think of it exactly like that. You can't just stop smoking weed. That's impossible. You have to replace the habit with something. All right, so next, wean yourself off of it. And I put this, I put it as a combination of things. A lot of, depending on your personality, this part might not work, okay? You treat yourself like a fucking J. Every time you have thoughts or every time you want to smoke, you could do something like, you keep all the roaches and swallow a roach. You know you're not going to be high, but you stimulate that thought, well, I'm such a piece of shit, or I'm such a junkie, I gotta swallow a roach or just smell weed. Because literally, bro, you can't go from how much I was smoking to nothing without what I did, bro. I would have to fucking at least smell weed. Like I was Smeagol, bro. I at least have to smell a shirt that I smoked in, that I kept in a Ziploc bag. I had to at least look at my pipe and smell it and scrape it. Like, bro, it was bad. I swear to God, bro. And hopefully, most likely, you're not on that level. But I would have to at least look at weed or Google a fucking weed plant or smell a shirt, and I felt the chemicals in my brain change, and I was like, that's horrible, bro. That's like a fucking crackhead or some shit, bro. At least to smell a little piece of weed, bro. But if you feel, depending on how you feel about yourself, of course, if you have a low self-esteem, don't do that because you will kill your fucking self. But if you're okay with yourself, you could probably do that because I was just so arrogant and so cocky. It was okay for me. I'm still here. So that. Next, money, bro. Think about the things you've lost. Think about the money, the power, the women, the jobs, the things you couldn't do. If you actually sit down and make a fucking spreadsheet and look at these things and look at the statistics of the shit you've lost. A pound every 2 months. I smoked a pound every 2 months, bro, for years. Do you know how much fucking money that is? Do you? Do you realize that, bro? How many months is it? Six? See, exactly. It's 12 months. So that's 6 pounds a fucking year, bro. That's like 20 racks, bro. A year on weed. Times like 4, nigga. I could use 80,000 right now. Who's the Man, I don't fucking know. This is important, and you asked me about that? Come on, bro. I'm trying to help the community. I'm trying to get back. So next, you gotta be practical, set goals. That's always good, man. Gotta be practical. I wouldn't suggest anybody go cold turkey, but if you don't have any motherfucking self-control, that might be the best thing. I mean, that might not be the best thing. So with me, bro, she's from my Instagram, bro. I will, if you remind me before the video is over, I will put her fucking Instagram in the description of that video. All right, okay. So goals, bro. The goals that you need to set, I'm going to give you 2 sets of goals to not smoke weed. First, you have to realize that you smoke weed. Most people, like cigarettes, they smoke weed and they associate weed with certain things. Me, wake and bake. I smoked weed when I went in the shower. I smoked weed when I got out the shower. When my mom wasn't home, I smoked weed when I was in the motherfucking shower. I smoked weed before I went to sleep. I smoked weed before I went home. I smoked weed when I got home. I smoked weed, I wrote all this down. I smoked weed before I ate. I smoked weed after I ate. I smoked weed before other shit. School, I smoked weed before I got off the bus. I mean, before I got on the bus, before I got in the homie Lowe's house. Then, when I would knock on his door, he would be smoking weed. Then we would go outside to smoke weed, play a video game, smoke weed during the video game, pause it, go have a smoke break. I smoked weed before I did everything. So that's why it was so fucking hard, because I associated food, showers, waking up, sleeping, everything, school, with weed. So I'm sure you probably don't do that shit as much as I did, But you have to plan on doing something healthy before you do these things. Okay? And if you are trying to stop, if you usually smoke weed after you eat, at least I put an hour gap on it. So now me, I'm not trying to stop smoking cigarettes, but I don't want to smoke as many. So I set a goal that I don't smoke cigarettes for the first hour of my day, and I don't smoke cigarettes, but I like maybe 2 hours to an hour before I go to sleep, because that shit does fuck with your sleep cycles. So if you want to do that, every time you smoke weed, put an hour on it. Every time you want to smoke weed, put an hour on it. Okay? And then it's gonna turn into something else if you replace it with something. Every time you smoke weed, of course, again, like I said, cognitive behavioral therapy. Associate pain with that weed, bro. Smoke some weed, do 20 push-ups, then do 40, then do 80. Every time that you smoke weed, do 20 push-ups and add 20. Every time you feel like you want to smoke weed, do 20 push-ups. There's also an easier way to do that, but just to make it something healthy for you, I did that. But like people that cut themselves, see, I almost said females that cut themselves. I was thinking about something else. People that cut themselves, they put rubber bands on their wrists. Every time they feel like cutting themselves, they pop themselves. That shit didn't work for me that well. That doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me in cigarettes, weed, nothing. But if that works for you, I definitely say try it. But it is associating pain with that weed, though. All right. Of course, like I didn't say this, but I didn't write this down either. Don't replace drugs with drugs, bro. If you smoke weed and cigarettes, which I think 90% of people who smoke cigarettes smoke weed, you're going to smoke more fucking cigarettes, bro. And that's gonna you're gonna associate pain with weed just because of that, because you're gonna spend more money. All the money that you spend on weed is gonna go to cigarettes. You're gonna fucking go to sleep, can't breathe like that, got the athlete's asthma thing going on, wheezing it. You gotta wheeze yourself to fucking sleep. Your brain's gonna be all fucking lacking oxygen. You're gonna be all fucked up, bro. So that. Another thing, I mean, of course, be practical, meditate. Raising your vibration will take away a reason for you to not fucking smoke weed. It's gonna inspire you a little bit. There's also chemicals in your fucking own brain that you can get high off of, but I probably shouldn't have told you that. Watching intervention also helps, because you get to see, I mean, we all know there's no such thing as a motherfucking gateway drug. There's no gateway drug. Weed is not a gateway drug, bro. That's bullshit, bro. I don't believe that shit. But watching intervention and seeing how much these people, all these motherfuckers started out smoking, not all of them. Some people started out smoking meth and snorting cocaine. But watching intervention and saying, look, this could possibly be me. I could smoke so much weed, I lose my job, I live on the street, and I feel like, you know what, fuck it. I have no hope in life, so I might as well do goddamn heroin, because that's how a lot of this shit happens, you know. A lot of these people actually got molested and raped and shit like that and abused, but the ones that didn't, that just hung out with the wrong crowd, a lot of them started smoking weed. But I kind of killed that for you, because I don't believe that shit. But, you know, next, list all the positive things that are going to happen with you not smoking weed anymore. Another thing with the goals, this is more spiritual, but you can list 10 things that have nothing to do with smoking weed, but they can be things that you can only accomplish if you're sober. And if you do that, you promise yourself that you will buy yourself a fucking new pair of shoes with the money that you saved by not smoking weed, you know? Yeah, bro, the one, you're probably talking about the one where the chick shot heroin in her booty hole. Yeah, that was the worst episode. That was the second worst intervention episode I ever seen. The worst, the top three was the fucking huffing chick, the Middle Eastern, I think she was Pakistani or some shit, where she huffed. The second one was when the nigga was drinking hand sanitizer, bro. Fuck, dumbass nigga, bro. He was drinking hand sanitizer because it's cheaper than being a real nigga and buying a bottle. Next, okay, I already said that. Staying busy. Of course, that's the number one. The number one way is changing your emotions and how you feel towards weed. That's the number one. Why? Because your emotions build beliefs. Beliefs build fucking Beliefs build lifestyles build habits, and all of that. So I forgot the order, but that's cognitive behavioral therapy. Lifestyles, beliefs, habits, cultures, all of that shit starts with your emotions, though. All of it, and I mean your emotions a lot of the times come from knowledge, but that cognitive behavioral therapy. Breathing exercises a lot of the times won't smoke. Won't work if you smoke blunts. See, when I tried to stop smoking weed by doing breathing exercises, and I had all the motherfucking Dutch masters in my lungs, and all the weed strains you could find in Northeast America in my lungs, I would taste fucking Dutch masters and blunts every time I coughed. So it would make me want to smoke weed. So that might not work for everybody. But if you smoke bowls and joints, bongs, water pipes, that's another thing. You can smoke weed with different apparatuses. If you only smoke blunts, smoke pipes. No, that'll get you high as fuck. If you only smoke blunts, smoke joints. If you only smoke joints, start smoking blunts. Like when I tried to stop smoking cigarettes, I started smoking Black and Milds. But then when I started kind of liking Black and Milds a little bit, then I started smoking Swishers with no fucking weed, just a straight Swisher. Then when that shit didn't work, I smoked Capones. But I didn't smoke as much, and I didn't smoke cigarettes, and eventually I disgusted the fuck out of myself so much that I didn't smoke. All right, and how long was it? That only lasted like 2 months. No tobacco. So an alternative apparatus. Don't do vaping and don't do bongs, because you might actually like smoking bongs and vaporizers because it's so clean and pleasurable. But if this shit makes you feel like a crack fiend and if it makes you feel uncomfortable, I say go for it. All right, next, you can set. The goal setting, that's up to you because I don't know you. But one thing that helps me not smoke weed is I promised myself that I would not smoke twice in a row, 2 days in a row. If I smoked Monday, the next time I would smoke would be Wednesday, Friday. Okay, but a lot of people like to limit themselves to smoking only on the weekends, but a weekend is 3 fucking days. You get off work on Friday, you're gonna be high till fucking Monday morning. So that doesn't work. That's still half the fucking week. Of course they say support systems and all of that. I don't believe in the 12 steps because that's some reverse fucking Satanist shit. The 12 steps is based on the 12 zodiacs. The first one being Aries. It's not a war, bro. Just admit that you lost. Call yourself a crackhead. That's look, if you read that shit, it's reverse Satanism, bro. And the 12-step program is some Christian shit, which I don't have anything against Christians, but just don't use Satanism to heal people and say it's Christian, because that's just horrible. That's horrible. Next, don't fuck. Save your sexual fluids. A lot of people, they need to get all their stress out, but that's the drug, bro. Don't go from having sex, gambling, smoking more cigarettes. Don't replace your drugs with drugs, bro. You need your sexual fluids, bro. You need your sexual fluids more than anything right now. Yes, you're gonna have more energy. Yes, you might be irritable. Yes, you might be crabby. Yes, you might eat more or eat less. But goddamn, bro, you gotta combine that with meditation. Look up the phrase sexual transmutation. That's a real thing. It's not spookism, but a lot of people, the whole meditation, not having sex, doing breathing exercises, that's what you need, bro. And the next thing that helped me a lot, the weirdest shit in the whole world, protein shakes. Protein shakes. Because a lot of the times you're not going to be able to eat. You're not going to be able to sleep. And it just helps. It just connects the dots. If you think about it, do the research. Of course, you got to know your own body, and you have to eat more protein. And, of course, if you associate food with weed and vice versa, then that might not help you. But that's all I have for you, man. And like I already said, I've never actually successfully stopped smoking weed for a long time before the age of 19, before I start fucking tripping out and I had that fucking Kundalini ass, Merkaba ass, acid trip ass hallucination. I probably just got too high. I don't think it was anything spiritual because I just got out of jail and I smoked a lot of weed at one time. But I hope that helped, bro. I mean, putting the whole cigarettes, weed. I did a lot of acid at one point. It's not, I wasn't addicted to acid, but I just didn't want to do it as much as I was. But I hope that you benefited from watching this. I hope that you continue to be a blessing to everybody that you know, because you're a blessing to me. I don't know if I think I put emotional support and support systems. Remind me, you know what? I think I deleted that shit, bro. I think I deleted that picture. I'll find it though. But I'm the bang, you the bang, we the bang together. Be good to the bang. The bang will certainly return the favor. Alright, man. It's AaroniMoses. Peace.